Hi everyone, this is Salvi coming to you with some VTuber news today. I do try to get you as much as I can, and of course I do hope I earn a subscription, and I do hope I earn a follow, like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And of course be sure to do that before the video ends, and I do hope that you enjoy the things that I have for you. Fulgur Ovid, a member of Nijisanji EN's Noctix wave with Sunny Briscoe, Uki Violetta, Alban Nox, and Yugo Asuma, has a big announcement. This may be a surprise to some, it certainly was a surprise to me, so let's see what the announcement is. They are going to be graduating on the 5th of May, 2025. They say, we hope you're understanding and thank you for your continued support of Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. Let's take a look at the direct message here. Thank you for your continued support of Nijisanji and Nijisanji EN. We regret to announce that one of our Nijisanji EN livers, Fulgur Ovid, will be graduating on the 5th of May 2025, so about 2 weeks or so, maybe a little bit over 2 weeks. Since his debut in February 2022, who's been around for a bit now, has taken a spot in everyone's heart with his kindness and wisdom, while also bringing laughs with his shenanigans as a member of Noctix. We sincerely appreciate and cannot thank Fulgur enough for all of his hard work these last 3 years. They're at least getting better at the graduation notices. They're at the very least getting better at that. At the very least, they make it positive in the sense of, celebrating what the person is doing. We have the utmost respect for his achievements as a Nijisanji EN liver, and sincerely wish him the best as he embarks on his new chapter. To our fans and everyone involved, we understand how saddening the news of Fulgur's graduation is. We would like to thank you all for your support and hope you'll continue cheering on Fulgur and Nijisanji EN going forward. At the 5th of May 2025, Fulgur Ovid will cease all his liver activities. For further details regarding his graduation, please refer to the paragraph below. Graduation date, 5th of May. Social media accounts public until 6th of May, so it looks like they're going to private everything. Fan letters accepted until 5th of June. Nijisanji EN VTuber unit Noctix will continue to pursue their activities with Alban Nox, Uki Violetta, and Sunny Briscoe. We kindly ask you for your continued support of Noctix and Nijisanji EN. For all inquiries, of course, go directly to Nijisanji, that kind of stuff. It is painful for the community. I will give them the same type of kindness that I give everyone who is a part of a community when someone graduates. It is a painful thing to lose an Oshi. Wherever that Oshi is, wherever that Oshi goes, you, of course, will try to celebrate the times that you've had with them. I know, Fulgur, for as far as I know, has not been in any kind of drama, has been pretty good so far throughout the whole thing. That is why I do feel it will be very painful for a lot of people to lose Fulgur. And also, remember, yes, I do have a bias. I'm not going to say I don't. The bias is against the agency itself, against the managers themselves, against those people. It is not against the VTubers that are involved in it unless they're evil to other people, unless they're doing evil things, then that is when I will criticize them, of course. Just like I am someone who is open to criticism, or at least I should be since I am a public figure, I will criticize them. But of course, let's hear what Fulgur has to say themselves. They said here, it's a little bit, I'm going to go live YouTube. I have some pretty serious topics to discuss, so I hope that you will join me, but don't worry, the archive will always be there if you can't make it. This is what he was saying here. Let's hear a little bit of what he says. It's going to be a long one, but I do want to show the same respect that I showed for Gura and other people who graduated.
You want to hear it from anyone other than me first, because I know this is going to be very hard for a lot of you to hear. In a little while, the official Nijisanji Twitter account will be announcing that I'll be graduating and leaving the company on May the 5th, 2025. It's not a decision that I made lightly, and it's not something that I rushed into. It's a decision that I've kind of had in the back of my mind for a long time now, but just before the end of 2024, I was set on my decision to end my time as Fulgur Ovid and leave Nijisanji. I know that this decision is going to hurt.
I'm sorry to interrupt this, but it does feel like at this moment, the queue is very much real. If at the end of 2024, which is, 4 months already, or 5 months before his graduation, he already had the feeling of not being there, that means, yes, you are in a queue.
A lot of confidence, and I am so sorry that it will. These past 3 years have meant so much to me, and I've meant it every time I've said recently that you've helped me to become a better person and see my self-worth. With that in mind, I would like to talk a little bit about why I've chosen to leave Nijisanji. I'm going to do my best now to explain my reasons for leaving for anyone who would like to hear.
Let me see why it's so fast.
I'm going to try to be as clear and concise as I can so nothing gets twisted into any other kind of direction. If you've been watching my content for a while, then you likely unfortunately seen me go through spirals of depression and self-loathing often. Mental health issues are just a part of life for me, and while I do my best to manage them, I haven't always managed to keep them out of streams. I'm not saying that streaming has ever been a detriment to my mental health, and in fact, on the contrary, I would even say that streaming with the confidants has actually helped me feel a bit better when I was
Same
feeling
thing here.
down.
I do understand
the
that
times
struggle
my
a lot.
mental health hit an absolute low tended to be when I was physically unable to stream, and I felt like I was letting people down, and I was also letting myself down in the things that I wanted to do. My mental health...
Remember, if I'm not mistaken, he does have a disability. He does have a disability. That prevents him from traveling. That also, of course, will affect him in various ways in his regular life. So, of course, that does affect a lot your mental health, big time. So I'm glad that he is being open about it, and I'm glad that he is working hard to make sure that everyone understands what's going on.
Hit an extra low point a few months ago when a project I'd been working on for months and invested a lot into and hired a lot of skilled people to work on fell through. That was a big blow to me and shook my confidence and my ability to produce anything in the future. Then later on, I suffered from personal tragedies and hit a rock bottom in my mental state, which any of you who watch my streams already know about, so I'm not going to bring it up again. I'm stating all this outright now because I don't want to hide anything from anyone. Basically, I was just broken down by a lot of things in my life going wrong and had some very dark thoughts which I had to battle with. Once I had overcome those thoughts, I returned to streaming and life with a new mindset that really affirmed what kind of person that I want to be and what kind of content creator I want to be. It meant the world to me that you guys were willing to give me. And I think more than anything, yeah, it's time for me to step forward and...
It's what he says right here.
And I feel confident enough to step out into the world on my own and chase those dreams. So yeah, I don't think Nijisanji is losing too much by losing me. And I think
he's selling himself short.
Yeah, it's time for me to step forward and go out into the world on my own, essentially. So once again, I'd like to make clear that none of what I'm saying is an attack on Nijisanji. I have my own share of grievances and disagreements with upper management, but those are things that every work relationship has. And compared to lots of other people, I've been one of the incredibly lucky ones with how many opportunities I've gotten during my time here. Even just being able to leave on my own terms and say a proper goodbye is something that I don't take for granted. And I wanted to do it as properly as I can.
So there you go. A little bit of what he's saying there. Just giving you guys a little bit. I know it's a long one, but I did, like I said, I wanted to give the same amount of respect that I gave to Gura and others there, because Fulgur, like I said, has done his best to never be in any kind of drama, has worked through the disability that I believe, if I'm mistaken, he does have a disability, a physical disability, has worked through that, has worked through the mental tolls and things like that. This is, like I said, a bit of a long one, but I did want to go through everything that is going on in the whole thing. So I do appreciate you staying through all of it, and I do appreciate you showing some kindness to specifically Fulgur Ovid's community. You don't have to show kindness to Nijisanji EN management or anything like that, as I feel they don't deserve it. Personally, that's again my bias in there. But Fulgur Ovid is a human being, a man behind the mask, and they suffered a lot through their time in Nijisanji because of their mental health things, disagreements with upper management, projects failing, that type of thing. So of course, give them a bit of kindness. And as people have said down here, you can find them in different places, as people are mentioning there, in case if you want to see that. I'm not going to mention it personally, but there you go. I'm not mentioning it, but putting it out there. I know, contradicting myself, but that's how it be sometimes. Armchair Expert is somebody who is well known in the space by now. They're a relative newcomer. They're actually a pretty darn newcomer. I believe they only started late last year, when the whole Selen thing happened, later in the year. But they are a good voice to listen to when it comes to that. Their community doesn't like me, but it doesn't matter. That's not the point here. There's something about the way that people have been reacting to Gura's announcement that's been bothering me. After parsing it for a while, I've realized that seeing how erratically people seem to be reacting to the phrase differences with management, in particular, has confirmed some latent concerns I've had about how people interpret corporate statements in light of 2024. This is what I have said. I have said it so many times. This does not mean things are collapsing. It means that it is a corporate statement. It is a just point blank, just very vague corporate statement. Have learned to distrust corpo speak, but stopped short of learning how to actually decipher it using surrounding context and thus effectively gauge if it is being used defensively, diplomacy, or offensively, deception. Many audiences appear to have simultaneously developed anxiety response. Of course, that makes sense with everything that's happening, while remaining naively open to accepting anything that is worded as a seemingly personal sentiment. Let's say two groups of talents are two different companies. We're about to graduate. Talents from Company A all state that they're leaving their company due to differences with management and change in company direction. Uniformly leave their explanations there. Talents from Company B still state the same thing, but also state in various ways that they are excited for their new direction that the company is heading in, and that you should continue to support everyone still there. Too often, audiences will interpret these statements from Company A as a sign that something is definitely wrong, while taking the statements from Company B as at face value, meaning that there's nothing to worry about. Relatively few people will factor in the additional context of the uniformity between cruxes of the statements. So basically, the fact that the uniform tells you something, but not the negative stuff. And it says, uniform cruxes of the statement to Company B, even if phrasing varies between individual statements, even fewer will ask the logical question. If you're so excited for the future direction, then why weren't you convinced to stay? So yeah, I do agree. The second one is a little bit more corporate speak than the first one. And it does make you think a little bit more. It's like, okay, if it's so good, if it's doing amazing, and the future is amazing, why aren't you still there? That is a good question to have. And I do like that he puts that out there. Main difference between the two of them is that the former leaves more questions to the audience, and the latter is designed to do the opposite, to leave less questions pertaining to departing talents, personal rationale, etc. They leave more questions that pertain to the departing the rationale, more statements, and thus make the act of questioning itself feel more personally intrusive to the talents. Audiences in this space seem to have become more wary of the former, but remain utterly oblivious to the latter. For me, the latter would seem more kind of like, yeah, what the heck is going on? If it's so great, why are you leaving? You know? Whatever you may think of Cover's new direction, think it would be a mistake to look at the corporal speak and similarity between individual talents on why they're leaving and conclude that itself is why the company's supposed deterioration. Basically, yeah, don't take it as something negative. Wording your talents graduation announcements in a way that is designed to funnel most, if not all, of the audience negativity and speculation at management is not the mark of an exploitative company or a malicious PR strategy. If you want to prove either, you're probably going to need a better evidence. He's saying what I said. Remember, I've always said this. I said this every single time I talk about this stuff. Because KSON said this too. It is a vague statement. The differences in company direction. It is a vague statement meant for it to take all the stuff away from the talent itself and push it more towards the agency. And I've always said, it's because the agency has PR. The agency knows how to deal with this. The agency can pay people to deal with this. I've always said that. In this time that it's happening, I've said ever since KSON mentioned it. I think she mentioned it during, I think it was either the Fauna or Mume announcement. He said this is to push things away from the talents and more towards the agency, which can deal with this type of stuff. Understand the departure of founding legacy members provokes fear and uncertainty towards Hololive's future. That is a completely unreasonable response and entirely separate conversation. However, I think it's myopic and hyperbolic to say that the similarity between talents statements is sufficient cause to start proclaiming Hololive is dead, or even saying, like me personally, I don't like when people say Hololive is a black company, because yeah, no. Or like what's Asman and others have been saying corpos are bad, especially Vtuber corpos. I think that emerging tendency to do just this is a sign, while the audience in this industry have started to become more aware of corporate malpractice, there's still quite a ways to go. I do agree. And like I said, these statements that are put out there, like he's saying, they are not like, oh my God, the sky is falling. It is a corporate statement meant to push all the responsibility away from the talent, all the critique, anger, etc. from the audience, away from the talent, because the talent's like, you know what, I just had differences. And people are like, oh, okay, you had differences, that's it. And push it more towards the agency, which they can handle. They're made for this. They can handle that. Koseki Biju, which is this wonderful individual that is, this is their channel that I'm looking at. This is their stuff I'm looking at. Everything's fine while things are burning in the background. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed Koseki Biju versus the world. So grateful for everyone who was involved. Now, what are we talking about? We're talking about this. It was a big birthday project that she had. And of course, a lot of these birthday projects do end up being self-funded. So of course, Hololive will provide you with a lot of things. I think for birthdays, they kind of give you a little bit more leeway, but they will provide you with everything you need, animators, etc. And then they will even cover the costs up front, and then you can pay them back later on. When it comes to self-funded projects, that is. So she had a lot of fun stuff here, including a little bit of a lore drop.
Wake up.
Wake up, bitches!
Wake up. It's a place between life and death.
Oh, she had like a little bit of a game going.
What?
Nice.
I'm not on the earth?
when the Earth was wiped out by the meteor, beings of immense strength had their souls
She sounds
manifest
familiar.
here in this dimension.
As a VTuber, she sounds familiar.
Beings like you. I was the first to arrive, and I appeared before someone who called themselves the Worldsmith.
The Worldsmith?
Yes.
Surely it wasn't really me.
Don't worry. You were just a tutorial boss, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, oh, well. In small rock. Oh, why am I hurting myself? Ah, ouch. Dang it, I'm a bit reckless, you see. That's a little shiny one. Oh.
Remember how you used your big move at the beginning?
Yeah.
Perhaps
Awesome.
the stacks were related to that.
Perhaps. Perhaps. What big move did she use in the beginning? Oh, she used this one.
I have a bunch of other moves that I can use. Of course, I can't use my ult again. I don't want to hurt myself one more time. So, oh, calling for a friend. Rocks are pretty sturdy. How much? Wait, what's your defense stat? Can I know what your defense stat is?
No, you cannot know. And touching my legs.
Oh, they're being silly.
Yeah, don't touch me.
Well, I can't see the move. I tried to see the move, but it didn't work.
My
So here we
aura
go.
is huge. Okay. Absolutely tiny. Oh my god. I can't. No, there's no way you're going
They have no clue how their things work, it looks like.
Yes. It's time to meet you.
Ooh, those are nice moves.
You shall never make it past my domain. Never.
Oh, there we go. Those are cool. I like that. I like that they did all this type of stuff. Every single one, of course, has their stuff. They each have their moves, their specific moves that they're going to be doing.
Yeah, you know. Gotta deal with
It seems like a lot of times,
Yeah.
you know.
it seems like a lot of them figured out what the heck their moves were right when things were getting done. This is kind of funny.
Are we?
I'll show you how it's done. I'll show you how it's done. This is how you summon.
Ah, using the ancient one's language. Yes, of course. It did it work? It didn't work.
This is how you...
It didn't
You
work.
don't see it, right? It's
Oh, there it is.
You don't have... Okay, there we go.
That took a while. Holy crap. Raura. Fight me, bruh.
Yeah, there's some freaky stuff in Death City, so get ready.
Yes, this
Look at Iris. Look at all these, man. These are very, very nice. I like it.
Good luck. Please give me some encouraging words, my friends.
Don't die, or I'll be angry. If you come into my domain, I'll have to give you a little pep talk.
There we go.
Need to protect.
She's using her gemstone thing. Then you have Gigi. Ooh, that's actually kind of cool. Uh-oh. Her attack moves are up, and her defense is down. Uh-oh. Well, yeah, usually that happens. Lifesteal up. So yeah, there are a lot of different ones in there, of course. A lot of different ones. You can go take a look at it. Of course, CC has her own, where, of course, Biboo has the rock buddies there. Wrecking Pebble.
Oh no.
There you go, the
Why does it
pebbles.
have a poison?
Fire!
Ow!
There you go.
Are you okay?
That was all
See
like
if
pretty
your
cool.
pebble is mightier than the sword. Thorn, at my side!
Wow, that was a good one.
That took a little bit, didn't take a lot.
Maybe like
But there you
every
go.
other girl?
You got Shiori. Very cute. I think
What?
it's very, very cute.
That just makes me sound really like a bad person.
Let's see exactly.
I can still use it. Oh, but maybe I should use it now before before I don't know because overthinking.
Overthinking, yes, overthinking.
Use it. No mind games.
Cutting gem. Nice.
Ow,
The crits and stuff.
What a crit.
So there we have also Narissa. Fuamoko Bao Bao.
Thank you. Don't quit. No more out. No more. Wow. Wow. No more out. No more out. No more out.
There you go. There's Fuamoko's move. You got all of them there. All the girls are there. And there you go. They're sitting by the campfire.
Thank you.
I forget there's a game that specifically is
Alright,
showcasing.
before-
You guys can let me know. But yeah, it's already going.
Before I
Ooh, I've already taken a lot of time, 6 minutes on this one. I do apologize for that, but I did want to show everything. There is more stuff. There is the Worldsmith, which is Kyla. Kyla's in there, of course.
Fine.
Kyla is the final. Of course, Kyla's gonna be the final boss. Of course, she's gonna be the final boss.
End me.
It was fun. Maybe you are the main
And of course, you have
character.
Mume in there. Mume's in there. All of them are in there. It's very cool to see that. And of course, I want to show it off to you. Of course, I'm doing it a very long way. I do apologize for it being long, but I did want to show it to you. Zawarudo! Yes, want to show off to you. Welcome back, everybody, to the VTuber Showcase, the place where I like to showcase up-and-coming VTubers of various sizes, shapes, forms, types, everything in between. I do it because I want it to be a positive space out there for people. Yes, there's a lot of negative stuff that happens. That's very, very true. And it is something that I do try to control. But, you know, sometimes there's just news out there. It is what it is. So I try to bring some positivity with this. And today we're talking about OnyxBulletz, who is a small VTuber, a cyber Y2K street racer. And let's take a look at their Twitch. The cyber Y2K street racer right here, where they've been doing recently some Roblox streams, some things like that. Let's take a look at their Roblox stream, actually, so we can get an idea of what's going on here.
In trouble. In trouble? You're gonna get me in trouble.
We're back. We're Robloxing now.
For real.
Okay.
I guess we can Roblox. I'm freaking out. I will be freaking out. Who is this? Who the freak is this?
Hi, wheat. Casual wheat 9.
So there we go.
Yeah, we got a freaking. Hold on. Maybe it'll work. Someone speep. Someone speep.
So there you go. They're having a little bit of fun. They're having their own time together. It's always nice. It's always nice to have that. It's always nice to be able to enjoy some time with a friend playing some Roblox. I do that every Monday usually. So of course, here we go as well. Their YouTube channel, which I always try to put in there. I will, of course, put this in the description down below. Once again, OnyxBulletz, thank you for allowing me to showcase you on my channel, and I do hope this helps you in some way. Thank you so much for watching. That is all the news that we have for today. Please let me know down below if you want to know any more news, or if you have any comments regarding anything that you saw here, which I will try my best to respond to. I love seeing your comments down below. Of course, as well, like and subscribe to the channel. That will give you more information every single day. I do 2 videos a day, so hopefully you enjoy.